Hello and thank you for buying an Allett Liberty 43 battery interchangeable cartridge mower. The purpose of this video is to get you prepared and ready to receive your mower and to set up for mowing safely. When the mower arrives, before accepting delivery, please make sure that there is no obvious damage to the outside of the carton. If there is, please just ask the driver to wait while you open the box and just check the condition of the mower. Please do not sign for accepting delivery if you're not 100% happy with the condition the item has arrived in. You will also need some help, so the mower does weigh 38.5 kilograms, and if you have ordered optional cartridges as well, then that will be an additional weight to consider. So you may just need help just to move the carton and the mower itself. So the packaging around the mower is mostly cardboard, so this can be recycled at your local recycling centres. We also use a low density polyethylene foam. This is a very useful foam, so if you can use that around the household. If not, you can also recycle that at your local recycling centres. But please make sure that you have hold the carton and the packaging for about 14 days. That way, if you are not 100% happy with the product, or if the worst does happen and something does go wrong, you can then return that in the original packaging. So let's see what's inside the box. Inside the carton you'll find your mower and the grass box. Inside the grass box you will find the grass box cradle. You will also find a literature pack where you will find your quick start guide, which is what we are going through today on this video. A brochure showing you all the different cartridges that are available. A auxiliary wheel kit. A warranty registration card. A 5mm Allen key. 3 cable clips. A small spanner for making adjustments on your machine, and you will also find your 40 volt battery and battery charger. This video is quite long and there are several sections to it. We have indexed this in the description below with different times for each section, so when you are referring to this at a later date you can just refer to each section that you require. Also on the quick start sheet that's supplied with the machine there is a QR code, and if you scan that with your camera on your phone then it will take you to this video again. Please also go to our website to register your product for warranty. There is a sticker on the rear of the machine which has your serial number and model number, which you will be required for registration purposes. So the first thing we're going to do when the mower is out of the box is to set the handlebars into the mowing position. Be sure that none of the cables are wrapped around the 2 handlebar legs here, so when we fold it over the cables aren't stretched or damaged. So we're going to raise the handlebars until these tubes align, then using the over centre locking handle we lock that into position. So just double check that none of the cables are trapped between the handlebars. If that's not a comfortable height for yourself, there is an optional height adjustment, so we just need to release the nut on the opposite side. We can then remove this crossbar and then locate that through a different hole position to give us another height. And then we just locate the nut back on the other end and then just use the over centre lever just to lock them handles back into position. So with your mower you would also have had 2 cable clips, and the purpose of these is to correctly route the cable to the handlebars. You'll notice that the cable goes into a grommet onto the chassis of the mower. It's important that that is seated correctly and not sat on the outside. Similarly with the top, that is supposed to be located sat inside the actual handlebar construction for the controls. So we need to just position these onto the middle section. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. It's just to ensure that there's a nice smooth contours for the cable itself, just to prevent that from twisting and getting snagged on anything while we are out mowing the lawn. Cables from the handlebar as well, just to make sure that they are neatly sat against the handlebars. Make sure they're not trapped or rooted in between the actual handlebar assembly. Your Liberty mower is powered by a 40 volt 4 amp hour lithium ion battery, giving you approximately 40 minutes of mowing time. We need to ensure that the battery is fully charged before we start mowing. When it is dispatched to you and delivered, the battery will be fully depleted. So to test the voltage in the battery, we press and hold the green button. You'll notice a series of 4 LEDs. If we get 4 LEDs illuminated, then the battery is 100% charged. If we get 2 LEDs, for instance, then there's only 50% capacity in the battery. With the charger unit itself, there will be a red LED for the power. When the battery is inserted, you will get a red charging LED, and when it's fully charged, that red LED will turn to green. So to insert the battery into the charger, we've got a series of slots on the charger, and then we just insert that into the charger, and the connections for the power will click together once you've just fully inserted that. So when it is fully charged, there's also a grey lever on the battery, which we press down and then pull the battery from the charger unit. The charging time from fully depleted to fully charged is about 1 hour 45. When we insert that into the mower, so we lift the grey cover on the top, you'll notice the grooves also locate into grooves on the moulding housing. We locate that in, and again we just push that in until it clicks. When removing, again we use the grey lever just to press that and then pull the battery from the charger. You'll also notice a red safety key switch. You can remove that if storing in your garage, and that will basically isolate the mower if the battery is in the machine, and that will prevent any accidents, especially if children are about in the area. The Liberty 43 has a height of cut range from 6mm rising to 32mm, and we do the adjustments in height by rotating the dial at the back of the machine. Rotating this in a clockwise position will lower the height of cut. Rotating anti-clockwise will raise the cut. There is a visual indicator on the side of the machine which goes from S, which is Scarify, to 1, 2, 3 and 4. When you can see S in the window, that is the lowest height of cut setting, which is 6mm or 1/4 inch. 1 is 13mm or 1/2 inch, 2 is 19mm or 3/4 inch, setting 3 is 26mm or 1 inch, and finally 4 is the very highest at 32mm or 1.25 inches. The height of cut change is fully incremental as well between those heights, giving you full control and precision for mowing and also for scarification work. If the machine is right down to the S position appearing in the window, this is the lowest setting and is generally used for, as I say, scarifying. When you want to choose your height of cut, it's important that you also follow the rule of only cutting 1/3 off the plant height at any one time. So if your grass is 30mm before you start mowing, you only want to be mowing that down to 20mm high. With cylinder mowing, there's nothing better than regular and frequent cylinder mowing, taking small amounts of grass clippings off to achieve a really wonderful lawn and strong stripes. So before making any adjustments to the rake or the cylinder, it is a good idea just to remove the battery and also remove the safety key switch, just so that the power is isolated. One of the great features of your Liberty 43 mower is the comb that sits just behind the front roller. This comb position, in order for the comb to work effectively, it has to be set at the correct depth into the grass, and my advice is to leave the comb at the highest position until you become accustomed to using your new mower. You can experiment by lowering the comb to get finer results and stronger stripes, and the lowest position you can get with this comb, setting it too low will cause the rear roller to slip because it can drag along the surface of the lawn. So you don't want to be setting that too aggressively when making adjustments. So to make the adjustments, using the spanner that was provided, or a 13mm spanner, we've got 2 fixings on each side, and then that comb basically pivots around the front roller. So if we slacken these two fixings, we can then raise and lower the comb. So that comb ideally will stand up all the lateral growth and stand up the grass basically just before it goes through the cylinder. So getting all the grass, gathering it all together at a nice even height before it goes through the cylinder. So really you want to be setting the comb about 3-4 mil just below your actual cylinder cut height, and that way you're standing combing through and standing the grass up before it goes through the cylinder. So once we've set that into the right position, we just lock those fixings back up. And then the comb is correctly set. Before we start mowing, it's a good idea just to check that the cylinder and bottom blade are set correctly. These are preset in the factory to cut paper, but it is a good idea just to check this because after delivery the machine has been transported, so these can be unsettled during that transport. So it's just a good idea just to check that they are still set correctly before you start mowing. Also, if you are when you are mowing and you find that the grass is not cutting as you would like, or it's starting to tear the grass, that's a good idea just to check that as well. It is a good idea just to check it on a regular basis anyway. So the cylinder is located between two bearings, and those bearings are raised and lowered to meet the bottom blade. It's always good practice to wear gloves, so these edges are sharp, especially when the cylinder passes over the bottom blade. So the bottom blade is fixed and it's the cylinder that we are able to adjust. So to check the quality of cut, we use a standard piece of paper, and best just to tear that into an inch width strip and just fold that over. And then what you want to be doing is just rotating the cylinder and then just pass that piece of paper between the two surfaces. So you can see we're just basically folding the paper there, which is what we would be doing with a blade of grass. So we're cutting in the centre, and then we're cutting cleanly on the one side. So this side we just need to make a light adjustment. So using a flat-bladed screwdriver, there are two adjusters each side which raise and lower the cylinder. So if we just do one click on this side, then just check again, and now we're cutting paper nice and cleanly. Again, just check that all the way along. So we should be able to rotate the cylinder nice and easy without hearing any knocking sounds as well. If that cylinder does become really tight and really hard to turn, then when it is running we are going to start generating a lot of heat and a lot of wear to those areas. So that will be the time where the cartridge needs some servicing. So now we're going to fit the grassbox cradle and the grassbox. So on the cradle you'll notice that there is a welded pin. On the other side there is a springed plunger with a ring pull. This locates into the cartridge where there's a hole on each side, so we fit the welded pin in first, just locate that into the hole, pull the ring plunger and then locate that into the hole there, and then we've got lower that until it sits onto the two rubber buffers. We get the grass box, there's a handle on the top and then there's a recess underneath, and we just locate the top of that bar through the actual grass box. There are two positions as well, so you can get this wrong. So if we position that on and just sit it at its lowest position under these moulding here, you'll notice that the grass box is raised at the back. That will give poor collection and the grass will start to come over the top of the front of the box and then litter onto the ground. So we need to over the bar and then just hook that on top of the actual cartridge seating plates. You'll notice that much more level grass box will get a better fill and collection from the grass box. The Liberty 43 is controlled by an electric switch arrangement. So to engage the actual cylinder, we've got a two-stage program operation. So we press and hold the red button We then bring in the red lever that will engage the cylinder. The bail bar underneath will then control the forward speed for the rear roller. So we bring in that bail bar, that will then drive the forward motion of the machine. We've also got a 6-dial speed operation as well for the motor, and that's for 1 to 6, and just rotating that will increase or decrease the forward speed. This mower is a light machine as well, so you can freewheel it, pushing the mower manually. So if you want to just get it out from the shed to the grassed area, you can push that. Also, if you are going around tight areas when cutting, so you can have the cylinder engaged and then you can push the mower manually as well. There are a range of optional lawn cultivation cartridges which insert into this mower after you've removed the cylinder cartridge. So visit our website and also our YouTube channel to see how to interchange the cartridges. There are 6 cartridges in total which can fit into this mower, and there is also a wall-mounted stand which can accommodate 3 cartridges, and this really does look neat when it's in your garage, keeping the cartridges secure and safe. The cartridges that we offer in my favourite order are the scarifier, the verticutter, dethatcher, lawn brush, a 10-bladed cylinder for fine mowing and lower heights of cut, and also a shallow aerator. These are all fantastic cartridges to help you create a healthier, more level lawn with greater contrasting stripes. Often when you receive your new lawnmower, you're in a situation where your grass is quite long, which isn't unusual, and a cylinder mower is not actually great at mowing really long grass short. What it does best is mow short grass even shorter. One of the reasons for this is that the front roller will basically roll the grass, and if that is quite long, the grass will not stand up in time to get cut by the cylinder. So there is a way we get around this. So with the Liberty 43, you will be supplied an auxiliary wheel kit. So you will get a plastic auxiliary wheel and also a stub shaft. These will basically replace the front roller. So we'll remove the front roller and then we will fit the wheel kit to each side, and that way we are removing the front roller, which will not roll the grass prior to cutting. So we'll be able to just get the height of cut down to a manageable height. We can then bring in the front roller again, and we can then maintain regular mowing from there. So when you finish with your mower and then you're looking to put it away in the storage shed, it's best to clean with a light brush or even a leaf blower. What we don't recommend is using a high-pressured water jet. That will force water where it's not supposed to be, especially with the electrical side of the unit. You don't want to be getting water inside the electrical motor housing. A top tip would be for once you have cleaned the cylinder and the roller areas, you can spray a light oil, like a WD-40, just in those areas, lightly spray, and that will just help to protect the metal surfaces to resist corrosion forming on those areas. Especially around the cylinder and the bottom blade, you want to keep those areas as clean as possible and free from any corrosion. That's where the cutting of your grass is going to be happening, so you want to be keeping that in top condition. To help with storage as well, you can also fold the handlebars over and position the grass box neatly on top, which will give you a more confined area for when storing the mower. So when the time comes for you to actually service your machine, so you can remove the cartridge and take that to your dealer, or you can easily transport the mower in the back of your car and take the whole machine. And to keep your mower performing well, and more importantly your lawn cut really cleanly, you need to keep the mower blades really sharp. We recommend that you have your blade sharpened annually at your local Allett service centre, who has the facility to be able to grind these cylinders and bottom blade. You can remove the cartridge for ease of transport, or you can easily fold the handlebars over and transport the whole machine. If you are looking to do an in-season alternative sharpening, you can use a process called backlapping. We have a video now to take you to a link to how to do that, which basically reverses the direction of the cylinder, and while applying a backlapping paste you are able to put the sharp edge back onto the cylinder and bottom blade. We have a lot of resources to help you to achieve the great lawn that you want, with over 150 videos on our YouTube channel. We really hope this video has helped you to prepare for the arrival of your new mower, and that you really enjoy many years of trouble-free mowing. and amazing lawns. So now that you have got everything you need, the only thing left is to make your neighbour really jealous.